Okay, Gary in the Xara Zone recently did a tutorial on how to create a poster for a casino night that also used a roulette wheel, and he went on to explain how to create this roulette wheel. Sorry, I just got interrupted by an incoming message there. Anyway, just to recap, Gary used the blend tool to dissect the circle, and Rick came along and he said, as above. Okay, a bit of maths involved, so I'm going to see if my method of just cloning and rotating and cloning and rotating and cloning and rotating, etc. works. And this is the method I'd use as well. Nothing wrong with Gary's method at all. Just want to highlight just one problem with it. So I'll just pause again while I get this section done. Using Gary's method, create a circle. Let's give it a green colour. We've got a circle here. I'm going to give it a green line colour. I'm going to give it no fill, so it doesn't matter what size it is. It's academic at the moment. I'm going to Control K to clone it. I'm going to hold in the Shift key, and I'm just going to drag it down a bit. It's too much there. I'm going to drag it up like that. I'm going to go Control K again to do that. I'm going to do that. It doesn't really matter. I'm trying to highlight here is Gary's a problem with Gary's method. I'm not saying it's a big issue, but if you want accuracy, it does tend to be a problem. So you've now got two lines. I'm going to select the blend tool. I'm going to blend from that line to that line, and we're going to, for sake of argument, have a 10-degree rotation over 360 degrees is 36 degrees. So let's have a look. So we need 36 steps. 36 steps, but because they overlap, I'm going to make that 37. 37, okay, and select any one of these circles. Blend to fit curve, and then rotate along the curve. Does that. Now the one issue I have here, and it's not a big issue, and if you're just being generally messing around, it's not a big issue. But if you can see, those two lines that overlap or meet on the blend aren't quite straight, and if I go down to wireframe, the rest of the blend disappears, and you can see that there's a difference between where it's blending from and where it's blending to. And if you're after accuracy, then that is a problem. No big issue, and I'm not knocking Gary's method at all. It works fine for what you want. I'm just pointing out that if you want a bit more accuracy, that's not the way I'd go about it. So I'd try Rick's idea of cloning, rotating, cloning, rotating, cloning, rotating. So I'm going to push on and just show how I'd go about that. Okay, so let's return to Rick's idea of creating a shape and cloning it, rotating it, cloning it, rotating it. So here I've already got two name colours. I enjoyed working with name colours, very handy. I'm going to create a circle, give it a colour, green and no fill. Control clone that, holding down the shift key, just bring it down a bit, control clone that, holding down the shift key, bringing it down like that. I'm going to then use the blend tool to blend between one and the other, and I'm only wanting one step, so I'll just put like that, and I'll go arrange, and now I'm going to change that blend to edible shapes, convert to edible shapes, and I'll arrange, ungroup. I'll select that middle circle and control clone that, and I'll just make that blue, so you can see, well, you can't really see there, make it purple so you can see that. Select that one, arrange, combine shapes. Hang on a second, I'm just going to control copy that because I might need it. Arrange, combine shapes, subtract shapes. I'll just fill that with this inner colour that I've already made, and no line colour. I'll try and select that out. Make sure this inner circle's the front start off. So yep, select it and go Control F, and I'll go there. I don't want this one. I want the green circle. So I'm deep down, hitting the Alt key. So down here now, you can see I've got this green circle and that one. Arrange, combine shapes, subtract shapes. I'm going to give that the inner circle colour with no line width or line colour. So I've now got these 1, 2 circles, bump, bump. Undo those so they're together. Now I'm going to just create a line like this, hit that, arrange, alignment, apply, close. Hold down shift to create that up. Now we're going to have 36 divisions on the in the roulette wheel, so each one is going to be 10 degrees. So select that, control clone that, and I'm going to change that to 5 degrees. This one I'm going to go to -5 degrees. And I've got 2 lines now that I know the angle between them is 10 degrees. And they're both selected. I'll just go with the shape of it, all joining them up together till I get that situation. Let's give it a red colour. We don't need a line colour. Okay, so now we've got this. I can go Control Clone, and I'm going to rotate this 20 degrees. I'm going to go Control Clone, and rotate that 20 degrees. Control Clone. I know it's boring, but you can go 20 degrees. You can also select more than one, rotate them in larger multiples of 20 degrees, but just for this video I'll just carry on doing 20 degrees. Control Clone, 20 degrees. Can that go? Yeah. Control clone. 20 degrees. Okay, so there's you've got all these shapes there. It's 20 degrees. If I go into the name gallery, I can select the red shapes there, and I can go arrange, combine shapes, add shapes, and it now becomes one shape, and I can move that aside just to show you that's one shape. I'm going to go control clone that, and I'm going to rotate, let's say you want to fill that green, and rotate that, it'll be 20 degrees, I'm not sure, no it's not 20 degrees, it's 10 degrees. I'm going to rotate that 10 degrees. You can see there that you've got this one and the other one, different things. So I'm going to select the two of those, and I'm going to control back to send them to the back. Delete from here until I get to the next point. So I'm going to go back, back, and what I'm going to do is select the green for the time being and go control X to go to the clipboard. I'm going to select that and select this inner circle, and go arrange, combine shapes, intersect shapes, and that gives me those shapes. Pause. Okay, so I've now got this shape here, and I'll just move that aside so you can see what it's like. I'm going to go control clone, I'm going to rotate that 10 degrees, and I'm going to fill that with a light colour. Okay, now I'm going to I've copied that shape earlier onto the clipboard. I'm going to go Control Shift V and put that back on there. I'm going to now select the inner circle, the pale blue one, and this one, and go Arrange, Combine Shapes, Intersect Shapes, and I'll give that a dark colour so you can see that. I'll go Control Clone, I'm going to rotate that 10 degrees. And give that a light blue colour. You can now see that you've got the same effect that Gary was after, just by a different method. That's all. It's to say, I think it's slightly more accurate, but I tend to be too accurate. But that's neither here or there. The beauty of that, we can now delete that. And delete this as well. So what we've got there, I'm going to increase that in size by holding down the Shift key and increasing it in size a bit. And I can then Control Clone that and bring that down like that. Excuse my dog. Just go to wireframe so we're getting it somewhere like the same. I'll select both of those now. Control Clone and move that down. Let's go to wireframe again. Often go into wireframe, helps you see what you're doing. Just Control A so to select all, Control K to bring it down. So you've got something like that. You can do it one more time if you want. Whoops, a daisy. We've got this ever repeating inner spiral. I'm going to go Control Clone and clone that, and I'm going to lower it down and just using the, I can go in closer if I want, but I won't. Control clone, and just using it by eye. Now what I'm going to do is go and zoom into there. Undo that last bit I did. Redo it again. Redo it again. Zoom out. Just going to make it slightly bigger. Zoom in again. It's too big again now. Yeah, it's trouble when you start using this. Move that down a bit. Yeah, that's about right. I'm going to create a circle like that. It doesn't have to be centered. I'm just going to make it dark. And I'm going to hit Control B, just send it to back. And I'm going to go back to 100%. Just get rid of that for a second. I don't know what that's doing there. And you can see you've got this quite attractive spiral, and as the spiral goes in you start to get this kind of almost floral pattern towards the middle. Finally, what you can do with that is I'm going to Control Alt, just copy it all, move across, move it across, yep, and Control Clone it, move it across here so we've got a copy of it. I'm going to just drag select over the whole thing, Control J to group it. You can then apply what? A mold tool to it. I'm going to select a default envelope and just start messing around. Whoops, where have I gone? Where have I gone? Move that in there, move that like that, move that like that. You can get some quite wonderful shapes. Let's just move that down a bit. Which side is it holding down Shift? Holding down Control maybe? Problem I have is the screen grab method that I'm using, software that I'm moving, tends to drag behind, but you can see you get quite a good shape there, and I think it's fun to mess around with. And again, just to highlight the beauty of messing around with name colours, I can drag the dark colour in here, the inner colour, and I can change that to a light green, and drag the outer colour, and I can change that to red, and very rapidly change what you're creating. Anyway, hope that will help. Meanwhile, I'll have to go back and edit this because it took longer than I thought. Okay, cheers, this is Ed, goodbye.